So hello everyone and welcome back to the Pondering Philomath. This is part 2 of the video covering the topic of circle properties from the area of geometry. Right, so if you haven't looked at the first part, do look at it because it contains 3 of the rules that we have covered. And now we're going to look at the last 2 rules, which are about tangents. Before we start with this rule, it is important to quickly define what a tangent is. It is basically a line outside a circle, like this one over here, which touches the edge of the circle at exactly one point, right? So this line is only touching it at this point only, and nowhere else, right? So this is what a tangent basically is. And both of these rules will be used if there are lines outside the circle as well, right? So if you just see a line outside the circle and it's touching the circle at exactly one point, it's a tangent. Over here, we have 2 tangents as well, right? So if you have a tangent, then you can focus on these 2 rules. So let's look at rule number 1, or number 4 actually. So the angle between a tangent and the radius is 90 degrees. This is what the rule says. Where's the tangent? We have a tangent over here. Where's the radius? This is our radius, which is from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle, right? So this is the radius. I'll just call it r. This is the tangent, so this will be t, right? And the angle between the radius and the tangent is 90 degrees, always, right? Given that, we now have a right angled triangle, and yeah, it's just, we know that the angles inside a triangle, any general triangle, also adds up to 180 degrees. So let's just write it down. We have 180 degrees is equal to 90 degrees plus 3a plus 2a. And that would be 90 degrees plus 5a, which means that 90 degrees is equal to 5a. I've moved the 90 degrees over here, subtracted it from 180, so that's why 90 degrees over here. And then we have a is equal to 18 degrees. We're not done yet because we have to find these angles, right? So the 2a would be 36 degrees and the 3a would be 54 degrees. There we have it, an easy rule with tangents. So now let's come to the 5th one. And it says, from any random point outside a circle, maximum 2 tangents can be drawn and they have the same length. Right, so these 2 tangents, there are only 2 tangents that we can draw, and they have to have the same length. And because they have the same length, we have over here an isosceles triangle. So I'll just go over it again because some people find it a little more complicated. So this rule is actually quite self-explanatory. And what it says is that no matter where you have a point outside the circle, it could be here, it could be here, 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 anywhere, or here, there are only 2 tangents that you can draw, maximum. And when you draw them, you will see that they have the same length, right? So you can draw a point over here, and you can connect it with the circle, and when you calculate their lengths, then you will find out that they're the same length. Now this property is practical for us, as then we can treat it like an isosceles triangle, like I said earlier, right? So let's go on. Now using this property of this isosceles triangle, we can say that, I'll just name this angle over here C, just for us, and we are looking for B. But we can now say that because it's a isosceles triangle, C is going to be equal to B, right? And so I'll just call both of them, let's just, yeah, okay. We know that the sum of the angles inside is 180 degrees. So what we actually have is we have 180 degrees minus 80 degrees to get rid of this angle, and then we will know what is C plus B. And this is 100 degrees. So C plus B is 100 degrees, and as they're equal, what we get is that C is equal to 50 degrees and B is equal to 50 degrees, right? And with that, we have found B, right? Which we wanted. C is not so important, but it will come now in order to calculate A. And to calculate A, we're going to use this rule over here. We can see that this is the radius. Here we have a tangent. This line over here is the tangent, this is the radius. And so the angle between them is going to be 90 degrees. We already know C, which is 50 degrees, and the remaining part leads, or I'll just write it down completely. So A plus C is going to be 90 degrees, right? Using this rule. So from rule 4. And because we know C, we can just shift it to that side. So A is going to be 90 degrees minus 50 degrees, and that is 40 degrees. So we have found A and B using these two rules. So that was it. These are all the rules that you need to learn. And I know it may seem a little daunting at first, but as you practice it, you get better at it, and you also begin to see when to use which rule. So that was it from the Pondering Philomath, and if this video helped you understand the topic better, then please like the video, share it with your friends, and also consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you!